All right. Well, good morning, everyone. I've got 9 o'clock and we are ready to rock and roll. So thank you guys very much for finding us here on Monday morning. I want to say thank you very much for your patience. Last week was a challenge. We had a glitch in the system, obviously. And those of you that were paying attention, checked your emails and, we're running around trying to get on the call. We appreciate that. And we will do our best to hopefully make sure that doesn't happen again. It's totally my fault. New system as we set it up, and I appreciate Mike and his team getting it rocking and rolling. So obviously you guys have been checking your emails and getting into this call. The new link is in HQ. So if you have any of your folks that are out there that are like, hey, I tried to get on the Monday call, it doesn't work anymore, there's a new link. Mike, if you don't mind just posting that in the chat, and then everyone that's here, just copy that link, share it with your team or your friends or whoever's out there that might be lost or confused on like, hey, where's that link? So we'll try to shout it from the mountaintop to make sure that you guys get back linked and synced. So we expect that we're going to continue. Obviously, we're going to continue doing this throughout AEP because I think that we have some value here, especially for the partners that you guys are going to continue to work with throughout AEP. We've got important partnerships that are here and ready to go. So with that, I just want to remind everybody why we are here. We are here to serve those that serve others, which is you. And so we want to continue in that vein to make sure that we're taking care of you and getting everything that you need as an agent to be successful here in this business. So as we normally start, I'm going to share my screen here. And we're going to go with this one. All right, cool. Now, if you have anything in the chat, if you have any questions, concerns, anything that you want me to cover for today, go ahead and pop that in the chat because I want to make sure that you guys obviously are getting the information that you need. So HQ, here it is. I will tell you that HQ version 2 is coming soon and very excited to see that. But for now, this is it. If you don't have access to HQ, please shoot us an email to support@askhpm.com. Our idea here again is obviously to start your day, run your day, and end your day here at HQ. Okay, so that way you get in, you have all the information and everything that you need to be successful here at HPM. So moving over to our learning here on the left-hand side, you're going to go to the training calendar. And the training calendar, here we go. I always like to go to week view here. And we've got some trainings. Now, even though it's AEP, there are trainings, guys. So, like I said, in previous weeks, one thing that I recommend is pick the weakest part of your repertoire. What are you doing? What are the things that you might be weak in? Can you talk about TRICARE? Can you talk about, are you an expert in grassroots marketing? Do you know how to work with physicians? Can you explain the Part D program for 2026? If you can't on any or all of those subjects, do at least one training. One training a week will level up your game over 52 weeks. You should have 52 different trainings under your belt. That is how you level up. That's how you become a top producer. If you're not leveling yourself up, those are the things that cause issues, right? You're going to run into a situation where you're going to panic. You're going to ask people a bunch of questions. You're going to try to track somebody down because you're in front of somebody and you don't know the answer, right? So it's best that it's all up here, guys, right? Okay, so this week, the only training we've got is Med Sup Training 101. You guys asked for it. It's here. Med Sup Training 101. It's at 1 o'clock today. It's on Monday. Register there on the training calendar. Tuesday, we've got Cigna, Sales That Stick, Retention Strategies at 10. Devoted's doing an open training session at 11. UHC is covering the Part D program for 2026 at noon. They're also doing a chronic condition special needs plan CSNP training at 2 o'clock tomorrow, the 18th. The 19th, we've got Ask Al virtual coffee and chat with our very own from 9:30 to 10:30. Jump in there, ask questions, anything that you might need from Al Clancy. He's here to help. Moving over to Wednesday at 10 o'clock, you've got Aetna doing retail events, retail event readiness for 2026. Let me tell you, we've been really quite happy and surprised with the results that we've seen from the agents that are doing community events, retail locations included. So if you're not part of that, jump in there. That's Wednesday at 10 o'clock. Learn how to do that. UHC grassroots marketing at 2 o'clock on Wednesday. And then Cigna's covering military health benefits and how it works with Medicare Advantage. That's at 4 o'clock on Wednesday. Moving over to Thursday, the 20th, UHC TRICARE for Life and VA opportunities are there, hosted by United at 12 o'clock on Thursday. They're also doing a SSBCI training at 2 o'clock on Thursday as well. And then also 3 o'clock, some more retention training from Cigna, and then HQ intro. If you need a class or a walkthrough on HQ, our team is available on Thursdays at 3 o'clock to help you with that. Fridays, Tom Ryan's running any questions about HPM selling tools, which is through our partner, our tech partner, Connecture, HPM Shop. He's going to be going through that as well at 9:30 on Friday. So that'll continue throughout AEP. Please remember that client appointments are important. So those come first. If you obviously are, have an appointment with one of your clients at 9 o'clock in the morning, just know that these calls are being recorded. They're on YouTube, and you can go out and subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already done so. So that way you're notified when we do one of these calls and you know what's going on. All right. Let me just take a pause here and check the chat. Jake is asking, any progress with Connector sending out comparison quotes as opposed to sending out the full page we see as agents? So Mike's just responded, no official timeline on this feature adjustment. He says he's not I'm not hopefully this enhancement will be placed in or put in place in Q1 the earliest. Both Mike and John are meeting with Connector in February. This issue, among others, have been captured and will be addressed in our partnership meeting. So we're continuing to work through, these pain points. Connector is a larger organization, obviously, and we've partnered with them to bring you HPM Shop. But unfortunately, we are kind of at their mercy with some of the features that they've rolled out. Part of it has to do with, just being able to get something out before AEP. And then the other part of it is, baked in from the carriers. So some of the carriers require that certain things work a certain way. So that's kind of how that works. Also just checking the chat here as well. Okay. Okay, we will have dedicated on the call. Looks like Jason will be here. Okay, cool. Thanks, man. Nick, I appreciate that. All right, I've got a few minutes, and I want to tackle a couple of things this morning, mostly just having to do with where you are right now. I'm going to stop sharing my screen here. Where you are in your journey for AEP. We are over halfway through AEP 2026, okay? So if you haven't realized that, hello, right? So essentially, you should be halfway to your sales goal. Are you there yet? Are you on target? Are you behind? Are you ahead of schedule? So I'm going to address a couple of things that you should be thinking about right now for Medicare AEP. And then open enrollment, OE, you have about a month left of that for 1/1 effectives, and you have a little bit of an SEP as well. So what you should be doing. Okay, now if you are on target right now to your goal, let's say that you said, hey, I'm going to do 100 sales in AEP, review your target right now. Review where you are, where are you at with your sales goal. I know many of you get so in the weeds with appointments or activities, and then you don't come up for air. But it's important to have these checkpoints. Honestly, you really should be checking in every week, because If you're at the halfway point, you've already missed half of the check-ins, right? So block out some time on your calendar every week. Hey, I'm going to spend, half an hour just to see where I'm at, right? Because there's activities that you can be doing right now to correct course if you're off target, right? So let's talk about right now you're on target. You're on target. Okay, great. Congratulations. You said you were going to do 100. You're at about 50 right now. Fantastic. Technically, you have until December 7th, but there's a lot of different open enrollment or special election periods that you have beyond open enrollment that you can be using. So do you know those things, right? Are you ready to capture the last 3 weeks of December and add those into your 1-1s? Because those count too, right? For everything. So if you're on target right now, take a look at your calendar, take a look at your activities, take a look at your lead sources, take a look at what you need to be doing and making sure that you're still on target to hit the end, right? One thing that happens is you can become complacent. I've seen this happen. You become complacent because you're like, oh, I'm on target, no problem. And then all of a sudden you start to slow down, right? And then you don't have a game plan. You're not sticking to it because maybe you got a little lazy, you're feeling high on life, whatever it is. Make sure that you continue the activity that's bringing in the results and you're tracking those things and you continue to iterate on those things throughout the rest of AEP and open enrollment. Okay, so if you're on target, what's working, obviously continue those things. What's not working, you still have time to correct course. So let's talk about what happens if you're ahead of target. Okay, if you're ahead of target right now, congratulations, that's amazing. What is it that made you ahead of target? You want to analyze the good with the bad. We don't always want to analyze the bad. We want to analyze the good too. What got you ahead? Was it a physician's office that, is dropping a plan, or, did you find a honeypot somewhere for events? Did you find an incredible lead source? What is it that really put you over the top and ahead of schedule as far as your AEP is concerned? And then continue doing those things. Don't take your foot off the gas. I see a lot of agents do that. They're on target, or they get, ahead, and then they just, they put it on cruise control. They check out. And then all of a sudden, boom, the last 3 weeks come, the last month comes. And then they're like, hey, what the heck happened? I fell behind and I had to scramble at the end. So, if you're ahead of target, continue doing those activities, continue to work on the things that are working. And then also you have time to iterate on the things that are not working. So keep that in mind as you continue to move forward in AEP and OE. And I will also say, just check the chat here. I will also say, shifting over to if you're behind the 8 ball right now. Okay, let's say that you said you were going to do 100 sales in AEP and you're not yet at 50. Okay. Depending on how far behind, I don't think it's time to throw in the towel, right? But if you're close to that, it's time to step it up. So I'm going to give you a couple of things that you can do right now, and these are just low-hanging fruit for you guys to be doing and thinking about this week to kick it back up, okay? Number one, have you followed up with all your leads? I know it sounds silly, but let me tell you how much money you're missing because you didn't make that one other call. You didn't call them back. You only called them 2 times instead of 3 times. You only called them 7 times instead of 8 times. Life happens, guys. It's not your job, or it's not your client's job to remember you. It's not their job to remember you. It's your job to remind them what you do. So follow up, follow up, follow up. There's so much gold sitting there on your desk. You just have to go back and get organized. Okay. You should be attacking those lists. If you don't have a list, you need to get that in order first, right? Who are the people that you talk to? Who are the people that you're chasing? Get them on the books, get an appointment with them, get in front of them. Other low-hanging fruit. If you've made enrollments, especially last week, did you ask for referrals? Did you ask for referrals? And I'm not talking about, hey, if you think of anybody, you know, it'd be kind of really nice if maybe you, no, if you had a conversation about their sister that just moved here from Missouri and you know her name's Sally, then say, hey, when can we get together with Sally? Right? Are you listening? Are you asking for referrals? You know, these are low-hanging fruit. These are people that already trusted you with their enrollment, and now you're just asking for their network and saying, hey, look, we only have a limited time here. December 7th is cut off for Medicare, ACA, December 15th. Here we are. Is there anyone else that I can help? Do you know anybody else that you can help? Get them to me, and we can get them hooked up so they don't have any issues in 2026 with their health plans. Okay, be on a mission, put them on a mission for you. And those are some activities that can keep you rolling. All right. Okay. Romilda is wishing Kelly a happy birthday. Happy birthday, Kelly. Man, time flies when you're having fun. All right. I'm going to jump over. Mike, if you can help me track down Jason from Dedicated. See if he's on the call.
He's having issues logging in. I'm trying to get him in right now.
Okay. Thanks, Nick. Appreciate it. Well, I will continue to yak then on that. As a reminder, I am continuing to do these podcasts. If you haven't seen the podcast yet or subscribed to the podcast, we launched another one last week. Mike, if you don't mind, if you could pop those in YouTube and then also on Spotify as well. We are going to continue this at least until the end of the year. If you haven't listened into the podcast, these are deeper dives on some of the subjects that really haunt us as agents. You know, everything from compliance to firing clients. That actually rhymed. But now I'm going to be gearing more and more. You know, my passion is marketing, so I'm really going to be pushing hard on marketing. And so if you're interested in learning more techniques about marketing, and the things that go along with it, you know, go out to our Spotify channel. If you're a Spotify person, you can subscribe to the podcast there, or our YouTube channel. You should see it in the playlist. Just turn on those notifications, because if you don't, you might miss a few episodes, which is no big deal. I mean, it's just a matter of just making sure that you're getting the information and the tips and tricks that you might need. And really, my whole thing right now is just how can I help you level up as an agent? You guys all, everyone that I've talked to, everyone, doesn't matter where you are in your journey, whether you're just starting or, you know, whether or not you've been in it for a long time. I think all of us hit like a wall or even plateau at a certain point where you're like, you know, I don't know what's next for me. I don't know where to go from here. And so there's a couple things, you know, but the number one thing is learning, guys. Like, learning should be a lifelong thing for you. And our core value, one of our biggest core values here at Healthline Markets, is inspiring minds, shaping futures. And we put that in place because I am a human being. I don't have all the answers to everything. I've been in this business for 20 years, so, you know, I know a lot of answers. I know how things work to the nth degree. More importantly, I know where to turn when I need help, right? And then I'm constantly in training. I'm constantly reading books. I'm constantly taking courses. I'm constantly going to conferences to improve my craft. You know, as a you know, leader of health plan markets, that's my craft. If your craft is insurance sales, what are you doing to improve your craft? You know, so the podcast is one tool in your toolbox to help you. I'm hoping it gives you an idea, some insight, any of the above. So boom, there you go. Mike just posted the latest episode. Thank you, Mike. I really appreciate that. And then just of note, we are going to move the podcast on YouTube over to a different channel. We'll let you guys know when that happens. And then I'll post a special video for those folks as well. So, you know, you guys can go over there and check out that new channel. It's just going to be kind of simple, different branded, if you will. So that is a thing that I'll ask you guys to do. I want to talk about commissions really quick. This should get your guys' attention. Okay. If you go into HQ, I'm going to share my screen here. Here we go. So we go into commissions. I want to remind everyone that there is some plans that are non-commissionable. Okay. So non-commissionable plans are a thing. If you're curious or you want to double check, triple check certain plans, Mike and his team have created a fantastic guide here inside HQ to help you. So again, there's been suppressions, meaning like the plans are just not going to show on HPM Shop. We're aware of these. And then there's plans that are non-commissionable. So you could search by state. So if you're like, I want to see all the non-commissionables in Florida, you can click that for an example, and it's in alphabetical order there. And you can see which ones are non-commissionable. You've got some Florida Blue plans that are non-commissionable. You've got Freedom plans that are non-commissionable, or enrollment offer on. Just pay attention to this. You've got some plans that are suppressed. So this is how you search. The last thing that I want from you guys, obviously you guys work really, really hard, is to work hard and then realize that you didn't get paid for your hard work. Okay. So this is a tool for you, for your commissions. Okay. Now, those of you that are doing Medicare, we expect agent commissions to be rolling in for 1/1. 1/1 effectives should be first week of January. So we anticipate that just as normal. You get a really nice check sometime first week of January, maybe second week of January. There are certain carriers that take longer. I would say the smaller carriers kind of typically take a little bit longer. The bigger carriers are usually, right on the button. First week, second week of January. So, don't go out and start spending all your Christmas money right away, because you may not get it until second, third week of January. Just want to make sure that you guys are aware of that. For ACA, you're probably looking at February, maybe even March for some of these ACA carriers for your 1/1 effectives. So there's definitely been a delay in commissions. So if you're writing a lot of ACA, just be prepared for a little bit of a delay.
Hey, Justin, Nick. We have Jason on from Dedicated, and just let you guys know some news this week too on Dedicated. They have already agreed to be our gold sponsor again for next year.
Nice.
So
that is Jason F. I see here. And I'm making him a presenter. So Jason, when you can, just give us a shout so we can hear you.
I'm here, but I don't know if you can hear me.
We got you, man. We got you. Welcome, welcome. You're a new face for me and probably a lot of folks around here. Sorry for the technical difficulties. This, once you get into our system, it gets a little bit easier as you go.
Well,
but
short notice, but we're here.
That's the point, right?
Yes.
That's the point. Awesome. Well, Jason, if you could introduce yourself, what you do there at Dedicated, and give us the good news, brother.
So my name is Jason Fanete. I have with Dedicated. This is when I made my fifth ADP with Dedicated. I joined Dedicated in 2022. Getting excited about all of this coming during this ADP. This ADP for me has been like a really different, because here in Dedicated we are focused is more, I can say probably a little more on retention than sales. But I'm getting both, sales, rotation, and see this is the key for ADP, not just for us like medical office, but for you guys like a broker. Mm-hmm. And in my case, I like to learn about this business. I use the brokers to educate myself as well, because working in a medical office with all the changes around, this is when you have good relationships on the field. That's the best way for educate, because on this business, educational is so important. And I didn't know that HPM do like a Monday meeting to educate the broker. That's really, really helpful. So, you know, again, thank you so much for this opportunity.
Yeah, you got it, man. So we've got a few weeks left of AEP, and I know that you guys are out there pounding the streets. What in your mind, because you've been in this a while, what in your mind should these guys be doing now until the end of AEP? What are your thoughts and concerns and best practices for some of these brokers?
I think we have I'm not sure right now. I think 3 weeks left for this ADP. But in your mind, actually, in my mind, ADP is not just October 15 to December 7, because after December 7, all the time is a new enrollment for the broker. But in my case, I don't have any license and all of that. But for me, this is the time right now. Since I know has a good ADP, this is the time to prepare for my next ADP, or this is the time for prepare for my OFP that is on beginning of the year. And working on the relationship that you can be has like broker in the case for you guys between brokers and medical fears. In the case of dedicated memberships, road consulting, get partnership, create the relationship. This is a business that you hear right now. Probably I'm here, but probably in a few years I am in the other side. So we never know. And on this business, the relationship is so important. And don't be afraid to talk with somebody. Probably you are in the supermarket line, or probably you are any place, and you can talk with somebody, but you don't know that probably her mom, dad, or grandparents and here in town, and you can help to enroll on Medicare and get a referral to Dedicated.
Yeah, there you go. So one of the things I admire about Dedicated is you guys are really aggressive out in the field. What are some of the things that you guys are doing right now that's working?
Something that we're doing, not just during ADP, we do it through all the year. We do a lot of events, man. We do a lot of events, farmers market, Medicare 101. We do a lot of table talks, probably in dollar store. We do a lot of campaign. We use our centers. We have activity running our center that we can, we do. I think is marketing campaign through Facebook, Instagram. Right now, all new seniors generation, they are more on on Facebook, looking for things to do, looking for events. And we use that. So we have in all the 5 locations that we have in Orlando, we use the activity room to create momentum for the senior, and that's the best way. With the Medicare seminar, and like I said, this is we use all of the events to generate leads, and that leads we convert in sales. Not just during ADP, because if you wanna like working every single month, because we remember that we are in sales. Probably we gonna have a good month right now in November or December, but what about next month? So you need to build that pie to to create all these sales every single month. And also in the case of you guys, the broker, in the case that you have an event or you want to get in partnership with Dedicated, we can pay for the event. So I think that there are brokers on the field that say, oh, I don't want to like get in contact with any plan, because if they sponsor one of my event, they want to ask him for sale. So in the case of Dedicated, you can get in contact with me. We can create the event. The best thing that we pay for, and that could be a partnership between HPM and Dedicated, and we pay for the event. And you don't have the obligation, or I have this event, I need to sell this plan, because in the case of you guys, you're broker, you can sell every single plan in the business. That's the best point.
Yeah, you made a great point. Sometimes we have good months, sometimes we have bad months, and my philosophy has always been, you could have a bad day but have a great week. You can have a bad week but have a great month. You can have a bad month but have a great year. So it's never over, right? So you got to keep your head up and you got to be consistent. And Maybe,
This
I know I was talking this morning while you were logging in about, some of these guys might be behind their number or their goal when it comes to AEP. And I said, don't panic, you got to correct course. So, what you're saying right now is, hey, AEP is a thing, right? We get it. But it's not everything. You can use your relationships. You can, use it as a stepping stone to get the rest of your year started. So, what Jason is saying is activity, activity, activity. And it's every day. You got to be out there and be consistent. It's like everything else, right? If you clean your car once a week, your car's pretty clean all the time.
That's right.
Clean your car once every 3 months, it's going to look real rough, right? It's not going to stay clean. So it's like that consistency. You got to continue to show up. You got to continue to put in the work. And that's what builds that wave in my mind. And Jason, if you could remind these guys, none of your folks are licensed, correct? So
That's correct.
They need an agent.
Yeah, that's correct. We need an agent or broker to partnership. Not just during ADP. We need an agent or broker to partnership, all the months, every week, every day, because sometimes we have patients here that probably they enroll during ADP to dedicated senior, but for next year, probably that's not the best choice for that. Mm-hmm. And we need to create that relationship. We need to have a broker, knowing center, but we need to have brokers in the case that I need help with a patient. Hey, has a broker available? Let me call the broker and see they can help one of the patient here because right now I think one of the biggest change for next year is about medications. It's correct message. I know wrong because what I'm saying right now about the Medicare industry is what I hear on the street. Mm-hmm. So is there one of the patient that probably the insurance is not covered the medication? That's where we need somebody else to help our patient, because anybody here at dedicated has license. But but we need to educate patients because sometimes there are a lot of something that is happening right now with our patient is that sometimes, not actually with our patient, with every senior, they get a lot of phone calls. And all the phone calls that they get, hey, don't worry, you change plans and you want to have the best for next year. I know all the time that's 100% sure. So, and sometimes they make the change and for, they coming back and say, hey, I did this, but I didn't know what I did. So I just want to get back to my plan or get back for what I had before. So that's the way, when we have that relationship with broker, we use our broker to educate our seniors as well. Because, with the senior, that's educational that we need to work with them. It's like it's the same with broker or agency. You have a prospect that is going to be one is your client. You need to educate because it's not they want to go to Bravos, Walmart, a tabletop, and somebody else is gonna change your book of business.
Yeah, there you go. Jason, last thing before I let you go, you guys obviously, the agents that get it, they want to work with you guys, right? Like they get it. They see that you guys are a lead source and you're out there, finding seniors. But in your mind, what's the type of broker that you guys love working with? Who is the broker that you're like, oh, we got to do more with this person here? In your mind, what does that broker look like to you?
The kind of broker that we like to work, especially in dedicated, is a broker that the same way that we want to respect the broker, we want to respect the book of business of this broker, we are expecting the same from the broker. Yeah, because here in dedicated we have 2 ways to verify the agents or record, and of course, if you send a patient to dedicated, we want to make sure that we want to keep the patient happy at dedicated and for sure in the book of business of the broker. So we are expecting the same, that the patient send somebody to dedicated, make sure that they keep dedicated, because there are a lot of brokers on the field that is saying the patient to dedicated and in next month, 2 months, they change to another medical office. And at that moment, we don't do it what is the best for our patients. So we ask just flipping business around And also one of the kind of broker that we would like to work is a broker that they are available, a broker that, hey, let's do this event, let's work on this. Because on sales, this is cycles. On sales is a cycle. We need to create the momentum, do the event, work with the lead, and then it's when the sales is gonna come. Because if you wanna do the event or create the relationship, and you wanna just sitting down, get the referral, we need to work on that. So the brokers that we really like to work is a broker that we wanna work together.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what Jason's saying is you can't just sit back with your hands out, right? Like you got to be a true partner.
Correct.
You got to help them protect the book too. If you show them that, hey, I'm a team player, I'm here to, protect a dedicated house, and show that you're loyal with them, they're going to be loyal with you. And also roll up your sleeves and get in the weeds and in the mud with them, because they're out there pounding the pavement and doing these things. And the more you do that, and I can tell you from experience, because I used to do the same thing. I was one of the agents that would go, oh, the trash needs to be taken out. Okay, let me go do that. Oh, you need me to set up tables? Let me do that. Boom. Oh, you need help with the tent? I'll do it. Boom, 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 boom. If you're just sitting on the sidelines just watching them work, they're going to be like, why are we doing this with this person? They're going to just move on and find somebody else that's willing to put in the elbow grease.
I want to add some before I finish. I want to add something that, when we have broker that they really want to work with dedicated, we do a lot of things for the broker. For example, not just during ADP, but during the year, we can create a Medicare 101, and we take care for everything. We generate the leads for the broker, and we have broker that probably that in front of 20, 25, 30 seniors in front. And there are a few that are new Medicare, there are a few that are looking for a change. So when the brokers, they really want to work with dedicated, we want to make sure that we keep our brokers happy. It's not yours or patient, because it's a combination of both. Because it's you send a patient to dedicated and the patient is not happy, they want to call the broker, hey, what, I'm here. Right. So we want to take care of both.
That's awesome, man. And you also reminded me of something, in sales is, people don't buy products or services, they buy people. Yeah. They buy people. And, if you are the person, you get them to like you, the senior, they're going to want to be with you. Like, what is it going to take for you to be my broker? Right? I like this person. I like this girl. I like this guy. What he's seeing is truthful and right. And he's working with a great medical group. Those are the things that are going to set you apart as an agent. And I've seen it. Like, people are fine on their plan, and they're like, no, I want you to be my agent. And I'm like, stay where you're at. But if something changes, you have my number. And then they call me. They call me 6 months later, a year later, whatever. They say, I remember you, and I'm not happy. Let's talk. So it's really about, like you said from the beginning, it's about the relationship. It's about rolling up your sleeves. Yeah. And you'll get rewarded by working with true partners like Dedicated, and Jason. Jason, if you don't mind, could you put your contact info in the chat there? Phone or email, whatever you're comfortable with. Jason is at Dedicated. And if Jason's not your contact, if you're in a different market or whatever, he'll connect you with someone in his market or in your market that might be a little closer. If you're in Tampa or South Florida or something, I'm sure he'll make that connection as well. So, again, moral of the story is, guys, we bring on experts like Jason to show you that this is the way. You want to make some really great money. This is a partner that's willing to work with you. So, Jason, thank you very much for being on the call.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. I just put my name, last name, and phone number on the chat. So just in case somebody else has a question or they want to get connected with Dedicated. My home base in Dedicated is Orlando. So in the case that you in Tampa, like I say, South Florida, Jacksonville, I can help to connect with somebody else as well.
Outstanding. Outstanding. Jason, thank you very much, buddy. I appreciate it. Thank you for being on this call on Monday in AP. I know you're busy. We'll let you go. Take care, brother.
I'm sorry for the difficult to connect.
No problem. No problem. You're not the first person that happened.
Thank you so much, man.
You're welcome. Take care.
Sure.
All right, guys, that's it for us today. We will be here same time, same station for sure. Thank you to Mike for fixing my mistake. And we will continue to host these calls throughout AEP. And if you can't make one, again, we're going to be hosting those on the YouTube channel, so subscribe there. And we'll send out another email reminder. We had about half of the folks join this call, and I'm sure your friends are out there being like, what happened to the Monday call? So share that link. It's in the chat here. Share that link with your friends that are out there that are looking for help here at HPM. So take care, everyone. Hope you have a fantastic and productive week. Take care.